Good morning and hello everyone. Welcome to today's session on how data and AI is powering utility success today. My name is Jonathan Spencer-Jones, specialist writer with Enlit for Enlit World, and your moderator for today's discussion, which is brought to you in partnership with Oracle Utilities. AI is appearing increasingly around us on phones and computers, but for utilities, it's ultimately another tool that they can add to their armory. And it's finding application in a growing number of use cases, from reducing outages to boosting affordability and driving satisfaction. And we're going to hear more about this today. And so it's my pleasure to introduce today's panel: James Steadman, Global Head of Product Strategy at Oracle Utilities; Tomasso Bargiacchi, a WFM Platform Manager at the Iren Group; and Ezzeddine Jradi, Chief Transformation and Business Excellence Officer at EMICOOL. We would like to hear from you during the session and encourage you to send your questions through to the panel for live response using the Ask a Question box on the right-hand side of your screen. And we'll attempt to respond to as many as time allows. And today's webinar will also be available on demand after the session on the Enlit.world website. So without any further ado, let me ask James to start with his presentation.
Great, thank you, Jonathan. So yeah, it's, as Jonathan introduced me, my name is James Steadman. I run the product strategy team at Oracle, focusing on the Oracle Utilities portfolio. Been with Oracle probably getting on for nearly 20 years now, and I've done a lot of different roles in my tenure here. But very much focused on the utility space for the last 5 or 6 years, and particularly around areas of where AI can start to inject innovation more recently. So let's, if we go to the next slide, please. I'll start. So I just wanted to start with a reflection. You know, we all know that AI is having profound effects on all aspects of our lives, and it's happening incredibly rapidly. You know, it's affecting the global economy, it's societal change, and it's affecting the operations of every organization in the world. We're seeing world leaders, not just industry leaders, commenting that the change will be more dramatic than anything we saw in the Industrial Revolution those centuries ago. So there's masses of change that are happening, but there are challenges to this progress that we're seeing. So you know, those challenges are around the supply of chips. You know, the algorithmic efficiency that we're seeing around the models. But one of the biggest challenges is around power. So you know, that's where this relationship between the utilities companies and the AI vendors and data centers in the middle are there. So that's really putting the utility providers in a unique position. And our Vice Chair Safra Katz told a room full of utility executives in the US last year that they're really the gatekeepers to AI. So how do utilities build space for the investments that are needed in AI? Well, they're going to have to squeeze every ounce of efficiency out of their operations across all areas of the business. And they're increasingly going to turn to AI to deliver that efficiency. So this is a really interconnected relationship between the utility companies, the AI vendors, and data center providers in the middle. Next slide, please. So how is Oracle and Oracle Utilities helping deliver the efficiency we need? Well, we're embedding AI throughout all the business processes. And our approach to delivering that AI is, I think, somewhat different to what you'd see from others in the industry. The key phrase that we use, and you'll hear us repeat if you come to our presentations, is it's built in, not bolted on. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that the AI is infused within every business process to deliver the business changes that you need to have successful outcomes. So, when I meet with C-levels around the world, I tell them quite frequently, I don't actually mind if you don't know it's AI in the background. You just see a more efficient business process happening, and you're delighting your customers at the end of the day. So yes, we leverage it, but it needs to be part of that solution. It's not something that's bolted on around the outside. And that's also something that's very important when you start to think about the integration costs of these kind of solutions. If you're having to worry about how AI gets access to data, or is how it affects your workflows, that increases the cost of your integration needs. If it's there and natively part of your workflows, that's where it's very important. The other aspect I'd say is, we're talking a little bit about how we build up our AI infrastructure, but we also focus on an industry approach. So, that's pre-built models that are targeting industry-specific use cases. There's training on industry-specific data, and that we've seen some remarkable differences just by changing the kind of terminology that their models are changed on. Even if it's the same language, you get a higher degree of accuracy. But then also having specific models that are targeted at a particular challenge that the utility industry is having as well. And then there's the opportunity to bring your own data or fine-tune models on data as well. So, build the two areas I want you to come away from this is knowing that Oracle AI is built in, not bolted on, and we tune this to be industry specific. Next slide, please. So to deliver this, we leverage the breadth of technology that we have available to us at Oracle. And I feel really fortunate to be developing applications at Oracle at this time, because we're investing billions in AI, and we've built fantastic industry-leading partnerships there. And I get access to all of this. This is a kid in a candy store kind of a moment for me. I get to infuse all of that investment into our utilities product strategy to help utilities drive successful business outcomes. So it's a fantastic opportunity for us to develop applications here. Next slide, let's move on and I'll build that out a little bit. So the Oracle Utilities portfolio, which I'll talk about in a moment, sits squarely at the center of this connected platform. And it starts at the bottom with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. That's, you'll hear us call that OCI quite frequently. And this is infrastructure, we're hyperscalers. This is the infrastructure we use. And companies around the world are using this to run their AI workloads. And this is where we develop our applications. I'm normally doing this sitting on a Zoom call, a Zoom conference. We're using different technology today, but I point out, this is where we're running these kind of things. Zoom runs their workloads in OCI as one example of many thousands of companies around the world that do so. Then there's native access to AI models that these companies that listed here provide. And it's really interesting, these companies are not just partners of ours, they use our Oracle Cloud Infrastructure to train their LLMs. So, they're using that there natively as well. So having that foundation and having this core access to all the AI services that are there, available to our partners, available to others, but also available to us to build into our applications is an extremely positive position to be in. Then if we move up the layer, you'll see that the Oracle Utilities portfolio sits alongside our Fusion suite. This is our wider application, because we're increasingly seeing that workflows run across front to back office. So we pre-integrate these with our industry applications. And then to the right of that, we're looking at a common system of data intelligence that can run across all the applications that are there to run all your analytical and business intelligence needs. And then to top this connected platform off, you get to our agentic layer. And this is increasingly coming the way that the way that these end-to-end workflows are orchestrated. We've got agents themselves that are automating specific tasks, orchestration agents then that are bringing together different agents to have more complex workflows. But then also the tools to extend the agents themselves, or the templates around those, or to allow you to create your own, which allows you to have additional integrations there. And what we're seeing now, and what we announced at AI World a couple of weeks ago, was this expanding marketplace where people are able to contribute their agents for others to use, and potentially to monetize in some cases as well. there's 600 plus agents sitting in our marketplace at the moment, and it's increasing incredibly rapidly. There was a hackathon at AI World where in the 4 hours there, they created 109 agents that just in those 4 hours. So this is an explosive space that is really driving automation around the AI world as well. So next slide, please. Or just click it and it'll build out. So yeah, keep going, next slide. There we go. So I believe this slide represents our utilities portfolio. And I believe that this portfolio is the broadest and most widely deployed set of utility industry applications you will find anywhere in the world. And in line with driving efficiency, we've got you covered to address the multiple challenges that are there within the industry. So it's not just about AI. You've got to invest in AI in the landscape of increased customer expectation. So that's, how do you better serve your utilities customers? Then there's the impact of energy transition and grid modernization. How can we manage the complexities of distribution and manage that flexibility that's required around demand? And of course, there's the age-old problem, aging infrastructure, and how do we address the reliability and resilience needs that brings? So we have a full portfolio that addresses all those challenges. But in the short time we have here today, I'll just put that slide up there. I'd be very happy to talk to anybody who wants to dig into that. But let me just say as well, we're leveraging new powerful technology, and it's the technologies available to us to help utilities streamline their work, reduce their operating costs, and improve their service levels across departments. And right now, thanks to this connected platform, we have an opportunity to do that in ways that are only just becoming possible. So I'm really excited to get into some of the questions today. That was a massive flyby and a very high level. But I will now invite Tomasso, who's going to give us a bit of an insight to how they've adopted some of these principles at Iren. Over to you, Tomasso.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tomasso Bargiacchi. I work at Iren, and I am an IT manager for field services. Next slide, please. Okay, Iren is one of the major multi-utility companies in Italy. Operates in a multi-regional area, mainly in the north of Italy. We have over 11,000 employees, a portfolio of more than 2.2 million customers in the energy sector, about 3 million inhabitants served in the integrated water cycle, and over 4 million inhabitants served in the environment cycle. Next slide, please. Okay, Iren is organized in 4 business units. One dedicated to the network distribution with integrated water service, gas distribution, electricity distribution. Another business unit is the one for the environment, so waste collection and transportation, urban hygiene, design and management of waste treatment and disposal plants. Then there is the business unit dedicated to energy, so production of energy from renewable sources, electric and thermal cogeneration, thermoelectric production, distant heating management. And finally, the market business unit that sells electricity, gas and heats, and other products and services for energy savings. Next slide, please. Jradi, so is the business unit that delivers the distribution of electricity, gas, water, and it is organized in 3 main areas. The plants like substation, electric substation, or gas substation, for example. Distribution networks, not only electric cables, but also pipes for gas and water, and the meters for these 3 commodities. So we work in this scenario, and we are working in the IT platform with the Oracle Field Service. Now let's see in the next slides a brief history of what we have done. So a typical workforce management scenario involves 3 blocks. The first block deals with the customer request. The second block with scheduling task in the back office, and the third with performing field tasks via mobile devices. That's what we do in our reality. Next step, next slide, please. Okay, brief history. The first workforce management system in Europe was created over 20 years ago for electric distribution. Here you can see a lot of devices that we use over time. The first workforce management system was implemented using Oracle Mobile Server, which allows synchronization of data between mobile clients and the server. For the first time, we use tablet computer with 2G mobile connectivity. Over the years, we use many different devices, from PDAs to rugged portable computers. In 2007, Jradi started a substitution of the old meters with the new electronic meters. We integrated our workforce management system with the meters management system. Next slide, please. In 2017, Jradi decided to unify all the software system used by the gas, water, and electricity distribution in all territories. Oracle Field Service Cloud was chosen as the workforce management system, as it was one of the best solutions on the market, especially for the automatic scheduling capabilities. The project started by integrating Oracle Field Service Cloud with several legacy systems and SAP PM. So we created a hub to synchronize data between systems using an Oracle database with Oracle Apex to control and validate the data flows. The selected device for field operation was an Android tablet with a rugged cover and a special ATEX certified Android tablet for the gas distribution. As you can see, the architecture is using a cloud service for Oracle Field Service and other system on-premise for data integration and back-office operation. In the next future, we are moving on the cloud even for this kind of system, thanks to the experience we get with the Oracle Field Service Cloud. Next slide. Thank you. Oh, we don't have the images, but I can speak of it. In 2019, Jradi started a project to unify all the legacy system into SAP PM and begin the adoption of second-generation electronic meters. We integrated the Oracle Field Service with the new electronic meter system using the plugin technology offered by Oracle Field Service, which allows for creating custom application inside the mobile client. The plugin communicates on the tablet with the app that sends command to the meter using Bluetooth to IR external adapter. As you can see, there is a tablet with an app, a plugin that communicates via Bluetooth to the probe, to this device, and then this device communicates using IR to the meter. We exchange in this way information between meters and our workforce management system. Next slide, please. Okay, these are the last project we have implemented in 2023. Jradi started a digital innovation project to mark all the assets with a digital tag with NFC and QR code. We integrated OFC with an IoT solution that use an app to read the NFC tag and send back to Oracle Field Service Cloud the ID of the tag. The first part of the project concerns the installation of the tags using a plugin in Oracle Field Service Cloud to get all the information of the asset and of the tag. The second part of the project concerns reading the tags to access all the information about the assets. These information are at the moment structured data, so the technician must know where he wants to find this information. The latest project involves the use of an augmented reality and smart glasses to help a technician in the field. So we are moving from old tablets, old devices, to new devices that give the opportunity to the technician to work hands-free and to communicate with the back office, sharing video, sharing images, and augmented reality information. Okay, that's so far. Next slide, what we can do with new technology. So, i.e. On network operation. Irritative future plans focus on using artificial intelligence to improve productivity, efficiency, and customer satisfaction. One project involves analyzing the recorded audio of emergency calls to automatically detect anomalies and perform sentiment analysis. This is mandatory for regulatory laws and for a better customer experience. Another project involves the automatic analysis of photo taken in the field to detect the measurement of the works carried out and identify any problems that can occur to technician or to the work they are doing. As for the evolution of Oracle Field Service Cloud, we are working to activate a conversational interface to allow technicians to quickly access information on assets, simply using voice commands, in order to access instantly all the informations and work hands-free. That's all. Thank you. I'm sharing the screen to Ezzeddine.
Thank you. Good day, everyone. I'm Ezzeddine Jradi, Chief Transformation and Business Excellence Officer. I work at Emirates District Cooling. Emirates District Cooling, EMICOOL, operates in UAE, specifically in Dubai. District Cooling is a utilities, a necessity in harsh and hot climate environment. We produce chilled water, we distribute chilled water, and we supply facilities with chilled water. So our supply chain starts from production, distribution, to billing and collection. Our journey with Oracle started around 4 years ago, where we were already having a solution that we are using for our back office and billing and collection. It was divided between an ERP system and an MDM system. Our aim was basically to consolidate all our supply chain onto a platform that can basically cater for those requirements, coupled with challenges from the customers in terms of providing a seamless customer journey, along with the introduction of regulations. So all those challenges were emerging, and we were using a proprietary system, which was basically developed and customized to our industry. Unfortunately, 10 years ago, district cooling was not a pillar that was supplied by many OEM providers. So back then, we evaluated 3 technologies: Microsoft, SAP, and Oracle. And Oracle stood out for the same reasons that James explained earlier in the presentation. Where we are today, we are currently centralizing our customer journey. We are streamlining our meter to cash processes, and we're also moving slowly in the direction of streamlining our supply chain on one platform, where even asset management will be part of it. Moving forward to utilizing AI, because the thing that is happening at the moment, there are also an additional challenge emerging related to sustainability, and energy is becoming a very critical factor in terms of generation, production, efficiency, and carbon emission. So this is in brief what we are doing with Oracle and around Oracle in district cooling. Thank you.
Jonathan, I think you might be on mute.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your presentations, and we now move into the discussion part of the session and the questions that that we've got. But we begin with a short poll just to get some insight into what's going on with AI in the energy sector. And the question is, which area do you believe offers the greatest potential for AI-driven transformation in the utilities sector? And there are 5 options, so to click one: predictive maintenance and asset management, billing optimization, operation efficiency, personalized customer engagement and service, energy demand forecasting and load management, grid reliability and real-time grid management. And there's 30 seconds to go. And while you're doing that, just to remind you to please keep questions coming through, and we'll answer as many as we can in the time that's available. So we're coming down 10 seconds. Quite an interesting cross-section there. And would you like to start, James, by giving some comment on that?
Sorry, I was muted then. Yeah, I think that's an interesting result. I would have expected, as we normally see, that that customer service sort of pops out before that. But it's very interesting to see that we've got predictive maintenance in the asset space, and as the demand management piece, I think is to be expected as well. But yeah, to have zeros in other areas, I think billing optimization is a big, and the operational efficiencies around that. That's a big cost in a lot of utilities. You know, having to deal with exception management or those kind of aspects. So I would have expected people to see the value in AI in that area. But yeah, quite an interesting result. Any of my colleagues have got questions, queries as well. Tomasso or Ezzeddine, how do you?
Thank you, James. Thank you, James. So I'm also a little bit curious about the feedback that we received on the poll, but I can derive several analyses from the responses. So if we look at the utilities industry, I mean, I would definitely add 2 more items to this poll, which is energy transition, which is also a challenge where utilities contribute to, and sustainability as well. But I think the agendas of most utilities these days are divided into the business as usual, which is mostly focused on predictive maintenance and asset management, which is the core of operation of utilities, and as well as reducing cost through efficiency and load management. But I would say the futuristic approach, where probably AI will come in and play another role, would be towards the other topics, like, for example, how can we make our customers happy? How can we service our customers better? How can we provide more reliability in terms of the service? And I think this is where a lot of data points will be captured now that tools and technology allow it, and AI will come to basically augment and complement where utilities have been historically focused on.
And do you want to add anything, Tomasso? Does that the poll results?
Yes, yes, we are at Iren. We are working on predictive maintenance. Is one of the most important projects that we are going on, and it's important to collect lots of data because all these algorithms works on a lot of data. So we have a history of maintenance, of a lot of operation done in the field. We collect all the use, the times that we have done the plant maintenance on the field, and then all these data are aggregated, analyzed, and it's very important how you find out to operate to the assets. So I think from our perspective, is very important how data are collected and then analyzed, and the results that drive the predictive maintenance to get more reliability on the assets.
Okay, good, thank you. And Ezzeddine, you've talked about EMICOOL, and how do you see AI transforming the utilities sector more broadly in the Middle East?
Well, I would say with the introduction of a lot of data, there will be several use cases in the utility which focuses on energy optimization, because again, this is a challenge coming from regulatory, energy transition, and sustainability as well. Everybody is running to reduce their carbon emission. So this is where AI will come equipped with a lot of data points on production, distribution, as well as billing and collection. That will be a frontier where AI will play a big role, even also in optimizing operation. That's number one. Number two, as Tomasso mentioned, in the asset management, and I call it basically asset management because that also links to how investments will look like, how maintenance will look like. And one of the challenges that utilities face is the age of the asset, or extending the age of the asset. So in doing that, it links to operation and maintenance. So now with the power of AI and computing, we can basically build models of optimization, whether for operation or maintenance as well. The third pillar would be related to customer journey. And I think that also a frontier where customers will have better interaction with the utility provider in terms of understanding their bill, to the level of becoming more energy aware, because this is something complementary to what the utilities does. So we cannot forget that utilities should share part of the load of how consumers consume their energy. What is their profile? How does this reflect not only on the bill, but even on carbon emission, even on the performance of the assets, and evolving into a collective effort. So these are three frontiers. I see AI playing a major role in this region.
Okay, thank you. And what, James, what differentiates Oracle's AI approach for the utility industry?
I think I talked about quite a lot of this in the opening spot, but to repeat, I think it's a few things. So having that connected platform, so that you can orchestrate end-to-end workflows across systems. In the past, a lot of the approach in the utility industry has been very silo-based, and now to really deliver those business outcomes and customer outcomes, you have to work across multiple solutions. So that connected data, as Ezzeddine was talking about, is incredibly important there. Having AI within the workflows. So this is a slight subtle distinction. a lot of other approaches are you can get an AI service and it sits outside. It's almost like a companion, and that's almost was the first generation when we started to bring AI in. It would be there sitting on site. We really want to have AI infused within workflow. So that's where our tagline is built in, not bolted on. I think that's critical and something that we do differently. But then when we look down at an industry area, I'll share an anecdote with you. When we about 4 or 5 years ago, we started looking at speech to text and summarization capabilities in AI. And some of the early models that we put out, I remember I was in Las Vegas presenting sort of proof of concepts at our cloud world at the time. It's AI world now. And we showed this. It worked really well, but we trained it on healthcare data. So it was the same English language. It was still a technical sort of area, but we used the healthcare data to train this model because it was in the early stages. We hadn't got the utility side things there. So just the accuracy that was missing because it didn't have the terminology of the utility environment, utility industry was incredibly important. So just a simple thing like that, training it on the language of the utility industry is important. But then also pre-building the models. When I think about some of the other AI initiatives that we've implemented into our products, we start to look at disaggregation. So, disaggregation of how people are using their energy within their residences. So you can start to apply energy signatures to data, like meter data management, to start to spot whether there's a heat pump being used or whether it's a tumble dryer. And these kind of things are incredibly industry specific. So you start to have to train your models in an industry specific way. So there's a whole lot of different things we do around that industry specific training, bringing your own models in as well, and allowing our customers to actually bring their own data in as well to really refine and fine tune some of these approaches where that's necessary. So yeah, whole set of things that sets us apart, I think, within the industry.
Okay, thank you. And this one is for Tomasso. How are you addressing workforce readiness and change management as AI changes traditional roles?
Yes, our goals is to equip our workforce management system with a conversational interface. So that field technician can request information about technical data and past maintenance performed on the assets using only voice commands. This allows them to work hands-free and avoid having to open each document manually and search information that are hid in some documents. So it's very important to enable the technician to find quick all the data they need to do their work, and we are trying to do this evolution of the system where we pass from traditional structured data to a conversational way to get the data. So ask the system information, and then the system responds with searching the right information in a short time. The way we use AI for our typical work, but with structured data that are in our company, that are organized in our back office systems. And this way we can hope to improve the efficiency and the benefits that are in terms of reducing times and give a better customer experience.
Okay, thank you. And this question for Ezzeddine, but perhaps James and Tomasso might want to add to it. And in deploying AI at scale, what are the biggest barriers, for example, technical, organizational, regulatory, to accelerating adoption in utilities?
Thank you, Jonathan. So I think this is a very broad, this is a small question, but for a very broad topic. I think there are many challenges at the moment, right? And it's very difficult to narrow it down to just a few. However, what I would like to highlight on is the following. So AI is thought of right now as a tool. It's a tool, right? And this creates a big challenge because a tool, unless it becomes a product, it has no value, or it has a minimal value. And for that specific reason, cost is an issue. So if you're going to invest in a lot of AI tools without any useful use cases, that becomes really a challenge. Of course, we did not talk about the culture, the adoption, the skill set, the competency required, but that is also as important as the things we talk about. But in my humble opinion, what I see of focus is how can we take this new tool and derive value from it. And the best way to look at it is to convert it into a product. And I think the best approach would be from a product, you start building up the AI use cases that benefits your business. And for example, in Oracle, if, for example, you start finding out how could let's say one sensor being added to the system, what value it can bring in, how can it enrich the decision making by the AI model that you have, because there is already a product available for that. You're just adding one tool and taking advantage of it. It would be much easier if you go outside a product and then build and choose a tool and then build a use case to derive value from it. So this will be a very important transformation in the AI hype. What we're seeing, because many people are right now, their main challenge is cost or ROI, and finding the right use case to derive value from it. But my advice would be start from a product and see where the AI as a tool can help you moving forward to that. This would be a key point. The other one that I would like to highlight is the governance issue around AI, either in letting it take decisions from a governance perspective, or in the governance on the data and the data quality.
I'll build on what Ezzeddine said, if I can, then, Jonathan. What you're pointing at, Ezzeddine, is really, you know, when I talk about infusing AI into workflows. So not having AI as a tool that does generative AI or agentic sitting on the side, but actually having it there in a use case. So things like how can we lower the number of exceptions that we're seeing within you know, a typical build cycle. That will have a significant, if you can lower those, it has a direct correlation to the cost of operations. So we start from those, and that's exactly the approach we take, is to start to identify the use cases that could be enhanced by automation. So yeah, fully agree with that. And can I just say that, you know, one of the challenges of doing that is to have how do you get access to a wide enough range of data? These workflows typically cross multiple systems, so the AI needs to be aware of the data that exists across the whole ecosystem. So it can't just interact within one system of record, for example. So you need to have a data strategy that allows you to run AI models on you know, multiple systems, and the integration to get that working seamlessly. So that's why, you know, at Oracle we look at that built in, not bolted on, and a connected platform kind of approach. And I also agree, you know, the compliance aspects, that's ever changing. You know, compliance and regulatory regulations are trying to keep up with the technology at the time. So again, one of the things that we look at here is, yes, there are specific regulatory and compliance issues within the industry, but the broader aspects of AI cross multiple different industries, and there's some commonalities there. So we look to our experience of you know, working across, you know, the thousands and thousands of companies that we work with to make sure that we can have a standard approach to security, compliance, you know, when there needs to be a human in the loop, these kind of things. So that's definitely something you've got to pay specifics to. And then I think, you know, I'll just go back to point I made before, industry expertise. So the general areas of AI and the generative AI or whatever it is, it needs to be tuned and tailored to the specific models that are going to drive business change within the utility industry. So we need to build up that as well, and that's something we focus on in terms of industry expertise in our AI approach. I don't know whether you have anything else from us, or should we back to Jonathan?
Do you want to add, Tomasso? Have you experienced any particular challenges?
Oh yes, there are many challenges in doing this thing because it's not easy. There are different approach and we try to understand where we can improve productivity, efficiency using this kind of tools. It's not easy because we are used to use structured data, information that are precise, and instead we know that AI is a different word, but we know that we can use it to improve our business and to do things better. We are studying the technology. We are searching the best use cases for us. For example, as I said, analyze all the incoming calls, analyze the images that the technician get on the field, and use AI to analyze all this data and find out what we can do with this data. So there is also cost efficiency problem, because nowadays these things are done by humans when they have time to do it. So it's not something that we already automate. In the future, we want to automate all this analysis of all the kinds of data. So not only structured data, but also images, recording of the calls for emergency calls, to optimize the customer satisfaction, and also to reduce costs. These are the main advantages that we think we are working on.
Okay, thank you. And then this perhaps for James, I think. What do you think is the role of startups and corporates in the energy transition?
Well, I think we've expressed the corporates. I think I'm embodying a corporate here today in Oracle. So I think you can see what we're attempting to do by putting together our connected platform to deliver support for energy transition. Where startups can play, I came from a startup many years ago. I came into Oracle thinking I'd be here for 5 years, and I go into another startup, and that's 20 years ago, have gone past since then. So I really love the innovation and the energy that you can get from startup companies and how they can play a role. Within the theme of the webinar here today, within AI, one of the areas we look to startups playing is how can they start to build out agents and agentic workflows and templates around those that can augment business processes that we already have, or provide additional integrations into other systems. And they exist within the sort of partner ecosystem. And I would encourage, if there are people on startups there, to look at the marketplace we have now around the sort of more corporate enterprise workflows, and look to see where you can add value and build these agents, build these agentic workflows, and post them on our marketplace. So others like Ezzeddine and Tomasso's companies can start to take advantage of those and consider those to add value to what we already provide from our platform.
Okay. And Do either of Ezzeddine or Tomasso, do you want to add to
Yeah.
the startup question?
Thank you, Jonathan. So aside from the 8 to 5, I also spend time mentoring and advising startups in different tech domains. And I agree with James that startups, they have a different DNA. They're allowed to fail. Their ideas are tested quite quickly, and they're quite good in finding a way to fund their ideas. So the evolution as compared to the corporate is definitely what is needed right now, specifically that AI is a fast-paced journey. What is needed at the moment is to create an ecosystem, not just a marketplace, but an ecosystem where innovation thrives within the ecosystem. So if corporate have a challenge, let the startup support in this challenge and let the corporate adopt the solutions provided by the startups. I think if we can succeed in creating a synergy and integration between those two entities, we will see the fastest adoption and adaptation towards AI.
Okay. And James, you talked about use cases in your comments on the poll results, and can you perhaps expand on the most promising use cases that you're seeing at Oracle?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the reasons I was a little bit surprised, but maybe I shouldn't be, is that services and sort of customer experience, customer engagement is seen not just within the utilities industry, but in multiple industries as sort of low-hanging fruit when it comes to AI automation. You know, so self-service, we've seen chatbots being used there for a while, so really early instances of AI, and there's a lot more that we can do there. So that's definitely, it's a big cost center for most utilities. There's a big shift towards digital first self-service transition, and that's where agentic AI is really going to come into its own. If you think of a simple use case, I mentioned summarization before. So if an agent in a call center is having to spend 45 seconds or a minute after a call, which is quite short really, just typing up their notes, so that the next time this customer calls in, you've got a record of what happened on that call. That could be sort of 20+%. That's quite a conservative number. 20% of the call time of dealing with that one customer. If you can remove 20% in a stroke, which generative AI can do, that's a big saving, and that's quite a simple use case. So just being able to summarize the conversation, because AI has been listened to it all, and then provide that. It also has the benefit that as humans, we typically take notes in different ways. We'd express that. You get some standardization coming through there. You get digitalization, so you can then take that into learnings and feed that back into other use cases within the call center. So the next time that customer calls in or comes through self-service or whatever channel they're using, you have context before. You start to predict why they're coming through, because you're bringing other sources of data in to infuse that context. So definitely see customer experience and sort of customer engagement as a promising use case. But we should think about other areas. And one of the ways to think about this, in terms of let's define what promising means, is where can you have the biggest bang for your buck? What can really help you drive down operational costs? And there are many areas where this comes into. One that's sort of top of mind is around the sort of exception handling. So if you can imagine, you've got ever increasing amounts of data coming in from meters, regardless of whether it's gas, water, or electric. But that data is increasing. Number of channels that you monitor is increasing, and so when we start to do the data cleansing around that, we start to find that things are outside and flagged as irregularities. Now, typically when there's an irregularity, you've got to put a human on to investigate, is this really a irregularity? What steps need to be changed? But actually what we find is, in a lot of cases, those irregularities are just, it's statistical, it's a statistical distribution, and it's actually accurate data, but it falls outside some of these hard lines. So by applying AI to those kind of things, you can start to spot these areas where it's not a hard line, and you reduce the number of irregularities. Actually at the conference that Ezzeddine and I were at in Dubai last week, there was one other company who talked about they've put in place routines that are starting to drop they're spotting 20,000 irregularities a month and identifying those correctly, and that's improving their resolution time then by 30%. So you're starting to see these operational changes by using AI to look at data and drive through operational change. And we've also mentioned, Tomasso has talked about predictive maintenance, being able to not just react to what's happening and prioritize that, but start to identify where you can go out, so you can do predictive maintenance using AI, or flow through to, okay, when maintenance is needed, let's do something simple like optimize truck routing, so we're not sending people across towns when they don't need to. There are so many use cases across all our areas of operations that we can think about. And one of the things that we'll sort of point out, we're so fortunate. It's almost at a point where if we can imagine it now, the technology is probably there to carry that out and automate it. It might take a little bit of work, but there's so much potential right now, so much excitement around this. So this is where you come up with an idea, come chat to us. I'm sure we can solve it for you with some of our AI services.
Okay, thank you. We're coming up towards the end, and I don't know if we'd like to go around and do an approximately 1 minute closing statement for the audience. Who would like to start? Ezzeddine?
Well, I think my final thought on this one will be keep integrating, keep collaborating, believe in co-creation, create an ecosystem of support, and utilize the power of AI.
Thank you. And Tomasso?
Yes, I agree with James that we have the power of this AI, and we have to find how to merge this technology into our processes. So we need to find the best solution to improve our software, our products, to give a better customer experience, to improve our efficiency. That is our main goal. We have the power now. We need to use it.
And I'll just tag on. I hope I'm not repeating myself, but hopefully you can see the excitement that I have for this space. I think there's so much that we can do here. So I'll just throw it out there. We've scratched the surface today. I've given you a little bit of an insight into how Oracle's approaching this, and we referenced some of the use cases we've got that are really driving efficiencies in operations and improving that sort of customer satisfaction. So my call to action is, I love talking about this stuff. So if you want to have more information, reach out to me. Some of the resources are going to be shared after this. I'd be very happy to have conversations about what we can provide, or even ideas that you have for other use cases and what you'd like to see automated with AI going forward. So yeah, and I'd just like to say thank you to Ezzeddine and Tomasso as well for taking the time to talk about how they've adopted Oracle's technology.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Well, on my part, I also want to say thank you on behalf of Oracle Utilities and Enlit to our audience and to our expert panel today for your insights and sharing them with us. And I'd just like to remind attendees that a recording of today's webinar will be available on demand on the enlit.world website. So thank you again and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.